F1 Bahrain testing week 2, day 3, Mercedes' new rear wing.
Friday morning, February 20th, at Sakya was nothing short of a gladiator arena, the final major session that will define the entire 2026 season. When the checkered flag dropped at 2 p.m., all eyes locked onto Ferrari's Charles Leclerc, who stepped up to erase the painful memory of yesterday's Hamilton catastrophe. Ferrari didn't simply chase lap times today. They stormed the paddock like a scarlet hurricane. But here's what nobody is talking about. Mercedes just introduced a wing so radical it may get banned before Melbourne even starts. Aston Martin's Lance Stroll watched his multi-million-dollar investment sit behind a garage curtain for nearly the entire session. And a team that was a backmarker just months ago quietly cracked the top 4. Everything you thought you knew about the 2026 pecking order? Throw it out. Behind the scenes, Mercedes unveiled a chilling new 4-element wing. Haas had an unexpected awakening powered by Ferrari, and Lance Stroll's silent, desperate frustration inside the garage shattered the 2026 hierarchy into pieces. Every one of the 11 teams raced against the clock, fighting for every centimeter and every piece of leaked data before Melbourne. Before we break down Leclerc's stunning 1 minute and 33.689 seconds, Mercedes' aerodynamic masterstroke, and Aston Martin's deepening disaster in the most comprehensive analysis yet, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications to stay ahead of this 2026 revolution. Charles Leclerc sent a message today so direct and brutal that rival telemetry screens practically froze. "We are the bosses." Clocking a 1 minute and 33.689 seconds on C3 tires, he didn't just claim P1. He dominated 80 laps with metronomic consistency, silencing every doubt about Ferrari's reliability. The horrific hydraulic leaks and wing failures that plagued Hamilton yesterday were gone. Ferrari deployed a far more refined, stable, and polished software package. Leclerc's braking precision into turn 10 confirmed that the SF20SIXS front-end downforce is in a league of its own. Ferrari operated their X-mode active aero so efficiently that their 342 km/h top speed sent the rest of the paddock into a state of deep pre-Melbourne anxiety. Leclerc's calm, confident demeanor was the brutal confirmation that Maranello has finally arrived with a genuine championship weapon. Today, Mercedes did far more than reveal a new component. They unleashed a technical earthquake that sent shockwaves through every single garage on the secure grid. The Silver Arrows pulled back the curtain on the W17 to debut an unprecedented 4-element rear wing, a design that doesn't just push the 2026 technical regulations to their absolute limit. It threatens to rewrite the laws of aerodynamic efficiency entirely. By exploiting every gray area within the new active aero regulations, Mercedes introduced a wing architecture featuring 2 additional concealed elements positioned strategically beyond the traditional main plane and upper flap. The engineering goal is both deceptively simple and terrifyingly complex: to manipulate the boundary layer of airflow with such surgical precision that the car effectively vanishes from the wind when DRS is closed, neutralizing drag to a degree rivals thought impossible. Then, the moment X-mode engages, these 4 elements work in harmony to generate a massive localized low-pressure zone, maximizing downforce efficiency and stability through high-speed corners. It is a masterpiece of fluid dynamics that makes every other car on the grid look like a relic of a previous era. However, this revolutionary engineering leap carries enormous high-stakes risks that were brutally exposed under the desert sun. The paddock held its collective breath when Andrea Kimi Antonelli was forced to trigger a red flag mid-session, grinding to a halt on the scorching asphalt of the secure circuit. The diagnosis was immediate and alarming: total pneumatic pressure loss at the rear of the car. It appears the complex valve systems required to actuate and synchronize 4 independent aerodynamic elements under the crushing loads of secure straights reached a breaking point. This catastrophic failure is the smoking gun proving that Mercedes' smart wing remains a wild, untamed beast. A mechanical predator that offers godlike speed but carries a volatile temper capable of biting its own driver at the worst possible moment. The frantic, almost desperate energy radiating from the Mercedes garage as mechanics swarmed the W17, combined with the hollow, anxious stare of Toto Wolff, painted a vivid and haunting picture. This is no longer just a test session. This is a multi-billion-dollar championship gamble where the margin between engineering genius and mechanical disaster is thinner than a carbon fiber thread. Mercedes has shown their hand. The speed is undeniable. But the reliability of this four-element monster remains the single biggest question mark hanging over the 2026 season opener in Melbourne. And not just technically, Mercedes stirred the pot politically today as well. Shocking leaks suggest that rivals Red Bull, Ford, Ferrari, Honda, and Audi are preparing to vote against their own engine compression ratio 16:1 proposal at the FIA. The twist is cinematic. After witnessing Mercedes' engine maintain perfect compliance and superior efficiency even under extreme heat, rivals are now deeply regretting their hot and cold test proposal, originally designed to curb Mercedes. Some manufacturers had hoped to support only the hot test to leave themselves a loophole. But faced with Mercedes' technical dominance, they now fear falling into their own trap. This boardroom war is the ultimate confirmation that the 2026 Mercedes power unit is the grid's biggest nightmare. The single most staggering shock of the morning, however, belonged to Esteban Ocon and the Haas-Ferrari partnership. Ocon stunned the entire paddock by taking P4 with a 1 minute and 34.494 seconds late in the session. The answer lies beneath the hood, the massive 2026 Ferrari power unit. While the works Ferrari team occasionally wrestled with reliability, Haas delivered a flawless, zero-error performance, completing a session-high 82 laps. The brutal torque of the Ferrari engine, combined with Haas's relatively compact and lighter chassis, handed Ocon a significant acceleration advantage through Sakhir's slow corners. Haas proved today they are no longer a backmarker. They are a midfield predator, armed with Ferrari's raw power and ready to wreak havoc. Ocon's lap was the quietest yet most effective answer to Mercedes. The Ferrari engine may well be the fastest on the grid. With Lance Stroll taking over from Alonso, Friday morning became an absolute source of embarrassment and an engineering disaster for Aston Martin. Stroll only managed to reach the track with 18 minutes remaining, completing effectively just one representative lap. The infamous Honda vibration and pneumatic issues reached a terminal point today. The AMR26 sat behind curtains like a non-functional wreck as Honda engineers struggled with a fatal mismatch between the gearbox and MGUK. The silence in the garage and the helpless look behind Stroll's visor said everything. If this Honda nightmare isn't resolved before Melbourne, Aston Martin may forfeit their entire 2026 season before it begins. This isn't merely a delay. It is Lawrence Stroll's multi-million-dollar investment being crushed under the weight of Honda's 2026 complexity. At Red Bull Ford, young talent Isaac Hadjar took the seat, finishing P5 and completing 59 laps focused entirely on the Ford unit's thermal management. Red Bull continued to evaluate Ford's renowned reliability rather than chasing lap times. Meanwhile, McLaren finished P3 with Piastri, running significant aero rakes to test the MCL40 stability in dirty air. McLaren is preparing a counter to Mercedes' four-element wing through new aero solutions on their floor edges. While both Red Bull and McLaren appear a step behind Mercedes and Ferrari at this stage, both teams are clearly holding back, waiting to reveal their true pace in Melbourne with overtake mode unlocked. This morning was homework, race simulation data, as both giants lie in wait for rivals to slip. Audi finished P9 with Hülkenberg, once again demonstrating one of the most compact and balanced chassis on the grid. Hülkenberg reported feeling more settled than his rivals on corner entry, a testament to Audi's smooth gearbox integration. Cadillac, the grid's 11th team, managed 59 laps with Sergio Perez but remained nearly 5 seconds off the pace, continuing as the slowest team overall. Their only realistic goal for Melbourne is simply reaching the checkered flag, though their current pace risks them becoming a mobile chicane. At Williams, Carlos Sainz held P8 after a steady morning, but the car's overweight issue remains their most pressing obstacle in this brutal 11-team midfield battle. As the February 20th morning session concludes, the consensus is clear. The 2026 season will be the most unpredictable and technically complex in Formula One history. Leclerc's Ferrari-powered dominance, Mercedes' legally contentious four-element wing, Haas's stunning awakening with Ferrari power. and Stroll's one-lap Aston Martin disaster. In this new 11-team structure, the hierarchy has been reshuffled, and nobody is safe before Melbourne. Ferrari looks like the leader heading into the evening session, but the biggest secret in the paddock is that both Mercedes and Red Bull still have hidden tints waiting to be unleashed. Do you think Mercedes' four-element wing will be banned in Melbourne? Is Ocon's P4 in the Haas a one-off or a sign of genuine midfield leadership? And how does Aston Martin recover from this Honda nightmare? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe and turn on notifications for the evening session data, the final pre-Melbourne power rankings, and all the latest leaks.